I was not going to record this morning, and then I don't know, this just apparently I'm still not sure if I'm going to record. There's a lot of emotion and cat hair. A lot of emotion. None of it is bad. I had realized that what came through, what's been coming through, the energy that I had tapped into and was trying to allow expression, was the collective feminine shadow, the feminine pain body shadow. And she was angry, specifically in the beginning. That was my own internal component, recognizing that I wasn't giving it neutral witness. Not in the beginning, at least. It was a challenge. Recognizing that I had sat down with the intention of expressing it, but there was, tied in with that, this subtle desire for it to change. This little piece that wanted it to go away, to be different, to change itself. And that's not the perspective of soul. That's not the perspective of self. That was ego. That was the mind-made creation. That was judging it as something wrong, judging it as inappropriate. And that was a big part of, that's why it needed to be displayed totally. Because there was that piece within me that was judging it, even while it was saying, we're going to sit down and let this express. It was trying to edit it. It was trying to edit it, and it had an intention other than simply letting it be. It had an ulterior motive. It wanted it to change. It wanted it to be different. It wanted it to stop, wanted it to go away, and that's exactly what that energy was speaking to, that component within me, and saying, you don't get it your way. Not like that. You don't get to dictate or decide my expression. You don't get to choose. You don't get to control it. You don't get to limit it. I will express, and I will express unfiltered, without holding back, without editing myself so that you feel more comfortable with it. It was directly intended to challenge that within me that was uncomfortable. And it was. There was a piece of me that was tremendously uncomfortable with that entire experience. It was intense. It was intense, but it was that piece that was judging it, that was resisting it, that was ashamed of it, embarrassed, that wanted it to be different because it was judging it as somehow wrong or inappropriate. And that energy was there specifically to say, I am not wrong. There is nothing about my being that is wrong or inappropriate. It is every ounce as divine and correct and allowed. I am the same as you. You call me dark, you call me shadow. I'm just a different shade of light. I'm still light. And I'm right to be. I am exactly as I intend. There is nothing wrong. There's nothing I want to change. There's nothing that needs to change. There's not a problem here. The mind and the ego creates problems. There are no problems. There's only ever what is. It was saying, look at me clearly. And take it or leave it, I'm not a problem. Your perception of me as a problem, that's on you. That's on you. Look at that. Examine that. That's what it was saying to me directly. You want to call me a problem? Why are you ashamed of any part of yourself? This part that is equally yourself, is equally God, is equally divine. Not a problem. Not a thing to fix. You think you're gonna heal it away? You think because you allow some energy to flow that it goes away? You're not fixing anything because nothing is broken. I'm not broken. I'm not your enemy. I'm not a thing that you need to run from or reject or change, and see how that's all you projecting that. See that your running is what makes you afraid. See that your rejection is what creates the discomfort. Accept me. Invite me. Experience me. Befriend me. There's a squirrel fucking around on the balcony. It scared me. I just, even now, I can still feel those components in myself. The piece that feels the shame, the piece that is judging. And you know what? The piece that it's judging isn't judging it. It's not judging itself, and it's not judging it. In fact, this darker, angrier piece, I don't know, whatever words, you know, words only get us so far, and oftentimes they contradict and they confuse. One thing means many things, and they can mean different things in the context of a singular conversation. So I don't know what to call it. Maybe I'll just call it dark. But this dark feminine energy isn't judging the other component within myself for judging it. It sees that. It sees that it's being judged. It sees that it's being rejected. And it doesn't care. It's not mad about it. It is not judging back. It's not saying you're wrong for feeling that way. It's just pointing it out. It's saying, look, you are judging. In judging me, you are judging yourself. I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed of myself. I'm not ashamed of you. There is nothing to be ashamed of in any of our being. Nothing. Not one thing. All of it is divine. All of ourself, the whole of ourself is divine. It is good. It is right. It's correct. And even as you're perceiving me as problem, I'm not seeing you that way. I don't see it as a problem that you see me as a problem. Okay, that's fine. Have at it. mean, there you go. The Great Squirrel War continues. But it is reflecting true compassion, true acceptance, true witness, even as this other part is judging it and is still uncomfortable and is judging itself. It's just the mind, the ego, it's all wrapped up in this judgment. Judgment of the anger, judgment of itself for judging the anger, just this, I can see this topsy-turvy back and forth. It's the juggler, right? On the Two of Pentacles. It's just going around and around and around. Then this other energy, and myself, and I, again, this is just the way it feels. I'm just expressing the way it feels. None of this, nothing I ever do is intended to be the way that it is, the only way that it is. This is all self-expression. I am not a guru. I mean, I am God and so are you, but I am living this life experience, moving through all of this, experiencing all of this personally and directly and right now. And that's the intention of these expressions is, I don't know shit. I don't know anything. That's the point. The point is I don't know. And I'm just experiencing and allowing and interpreting. And sometimes I know a thing, and then sometimes that thing changes. And that is a beautiful part of it, is being this perpetually emptying the cup. And really, really, I know nothing. I know nothing. Sometimes things are known, and they're known through me. And I know those things very clearly. I know love. I know love. I know the eternal life. I know the essence of that which all is. I know everything is the self. These are things I know from direct experience. But beyond that, I don't know shit. And that is the way I prefer it to be. Anyway. The feminine energy is so receptive. And the dark side of it is to be respected and appreciated and loved equivalently. She is shining that true compassion. She is reflecting the light. I mean, as clearly as can be. And I don't know why, I feel it here. And I feel sort of my pure consciousness in the center, and then this sort of ego component is over here. And that's the component that has an identity. An identity is as good as its definition of good. But that definition of good is reliant upon the existence of bad. It's an egoic definition. It's a form-based definition. It is clearly ego because it relies upon the perception of other. It's looking for an other to compare itself to and then say, oh, well, that is bad. Therefore, I am good. So it's a direct threat for this, that it is sort of like telling is bad because it's angry. It's not aggressive, it's angry. It's not even really angry. It's just forceful? No. Strong. I mean, it's angry in the same way that a storm is angry. It's just powerful. It's powerful. It refuses to bow down. It's that kind of feeling of just, I ain't taking your shit. I'm just not. I'm gonna stand here and you're gonna feel uncomfortable and I'm not gonna apologize for it. That's what this is. You're gonna feel uncomfortable until you decide not to feel uncomfortable. I'm not gonna go anywhere. It is a little bit of we're sitting at the table until you eat your vegetables. And so it's deeply upsetting to, threatening to, this egoic identity. Because that identity becomes compromised by the witness of this, by the challenge of this. Then again, it's not challenging, it's just existing. But ego perceives it as a challenge because it's in contradiction with this mental position that it's held. It's just existing. It's just going about its business. And ego feels threatened by that. That's fun. That's fun. So now I'm just sitting here feeling both sides of it. And all of it is allowed. All of it is allowed. All of it is divine. All of it is source, is self. And there's a part that really wants me to call it a problem. There's that part that really is saying, we have to resolve this. This isn't good. We gotta fix this. We gotta resolve this. Again, that same part that's like, change something. It's rejecting what is. It's finding a problem with what is. And you know what? I can expand further back behind that and just say, this is all it is. Feeling like it's a problem is not a problem. Doesn't make it a problem. And I'm gonna find the point, I'm gonna find the place where I can slip in to surrender and say, there's a big pile of resistance here. I see it. There's this and there's that and there's this tangled web and the push and the pull, and though we gotta fix it, it's a problem. And I can just go, well, that's what it is. Not my circus, not my monkeys. It's not a problem. It's just what is. That is what is in this moment. I'm not gonna ignore it. But I'm not gonna do anything because there's nothing to do. I don't need to do anything. There's nothing to fix here. There's nothing to do. Just look at it. Just watch it. Watch the dance. Watch the pony show. Okay. I'll sip my own tea. Oh. What a funny thing it all is. There is nothing serious going on here. I have found and been experiencing the humor of taking seriousness seriously. Of, we gotta not be serious. Well, what the fuck is that then? It's a problem that we're so serious. So we gotta fix it. We gotta call a board meeting. The committee's gotta get together and have a vote and change this seriousness issue, because it's coming up again and again. Come on. Come on! How fucking silly is that? How fucking silly is seriousness? It's the silliest thing of all. It is so damn silly. To be serious? Oh, what the fuck? That's all I have to say. It is what it is. Peace with non-peace. There's an argument happening, there's a storm raging, and I'm just gonna stand here and watch it and sip my tea and not judge it. Just accept that it's happening. This is what it is. It's not a problem. It's not unwanted. It's not bad. Because the unwanted component only really comes in when the mind starts adding this characterization of, oh, well, it's wrong, it's a problem, we gotta fix it. It's uncomfortable, it's icky, ooh. No, it's none of those things. That is all illusion. I can just stand here and go, it's kind of just what is, man. It's kind of not any of that stuff. I don't want it or not want it. It's just there. I'm indifferent. It's present. There you go. I don't know. It's all fucking silly. So none of this means anything. Have a wonderful day.